Tonight's tactical enhancement is Manabria. Tonight we're playing Warhammer, the old world, 2,100 points, and it's the fourth game in our continuing series of throwing all of my different armies at Andrew's shiny new yellow army. Now, if you've seen any of these other ones, you'll be quite familiar with this army, but Andrew, if you could give us a really quick whip through in broad strokes, what the hell is this?
Okay, very broad. So it's exactly the same army that took on the Corn Demons. So we start with General of the Empire on a Imperial Griffin, 5-up ward, great weapon, 3-up armor save. Templar Knight with 3-up armor save and a lance. Engineer with a blunderbuss. Level 3 mage with a book that gives him +1 to cast demonology.
Lovely.
BSB with the Ring of Tal.
Oh, yep, that guy.
And he has a 2-up armor save. And I think that's it for the characters. And we have 47 veteran spearmen with the Griffin standard, 24 great swords full command, 12 crossbowmen full command, 5 archers, Hellblaster, steam tank, and the wagon.
That's a stain. Have you seen the Carmageddon version of the Empire list?
I have all the war wagons.
Yeah, you just fill it full of engineers riding war wagons, a couple of tanks, and
with a potion of toughness, yeah.
Yeah, all that shit, and maybe a ward save.
Possibly a ward save, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know which bastard is going to actually feel that in the real world, but he won't have many friends.
And not much money, I'm assuming, because they're, how much? Nearly $200 each.
Well, yeah.
If there's 5 and all this, that's $1,000.
There's always somebody who'll go without feeding their illegitimate children in order to buy more miniatures, but anyway. And today they're up against the Dark Elves. 2,100 points. What have I done? The core. Well, I've got a few crossbow. And I've given them full command and shields, so they can serve as a hand weapon and shield combo as well. 24 of the... Let's see if this fucking autofocus will work. 24 of the Witch Elves, full command. 5 of the Dark Riders, in order to keep the points down. They don't have their crossbows today, just spears. 5 Cold One Riders, with their armour upgraded, of course, as you do. Cold One Chariot, that'll give a good wallop at something. Well, Chariot basically has a bolt thrower attached to it, so it's the third bolt thrower effectively. And we have 2 bolt throwers. Level 3 mage, Lord and a dragon, because God knows I need something in this army to punch hard enough to actually win a fight. And I just love dragons. So he'll come in, he's tooled up with armour, he's got a great weapon as well. And then there's this, the Cauldron, which is effectively a chariot as well. And it's got the Witch Hag on it, who's got some magical buff thingy of corn, I think, which I think buffs her attacks or some such thing. And that's it, that's an army. So what we'll do is we'll work out our spells, deploy, and we'll check in after that. Right, so deployment is complete, and Andrew turned out to have a lot more drops than me, which I hadn't really anticipated, although I should have. We have crossbows over here, archers, great swords, organ gun, spear with friends, fucking tank, war wagon, and both his characters over there, which he deployed after I put my dragon here behind the building. Then over here we have the cav. Now, I'll put them down last because they scout, and they are really just there to be annoying, I think, more than anything else. I can't think of what else they're actually going to achieve there. Probably get shot at a lot. Then we've got Chariot, Cauldron, Witch Elves. And I'll put all my shooters over here, including a Chariot that might be useful if anyone gets close enough. All my shooters in here, the Mage back here to decide what she's going to do with herself. And then I've put some Knights on this flank in order to... I don't know what I'm going to do with them, to be honest. But there's a bunch of stuff over there I don't really want shooting at the rest of my line. So I might just go and say hello, make friends. Gives his guns another target, which is pretty hard to not do, frankly, in this army. And that's it. I find myself not entirely sure what the hell I'm going to do, but we will go and do it anyway. On that note, we'll roll a dice and see who gets to go first. Oh, it's a 6. And that's not. Alright, well, I guess it's Empire turn 1. It's not what you want when they got cannon. And we'll check in after that. End of turn 1 Empire. So the characters advanced and hid behind the tree, so I can't charge them with the dragon. Presumably that'll make it easier for Andrew to charge me with both units next turn. He rather annoyingly drove the war wagon up to these guys and then shot a bunch of them. Killed 3. Tank advanced, everybody else advanced. Tank fired at the bolt throwers and hit 1, but then rolled a 1 to wound, that was lovely. The organ gun didn't shoot because it was out of range and he decided to move it up 1. How far did you move that organ gun forward?
4.
So the whole line advanced 4?
Yeah.
Instead of 8? You're planning to just sit there all day, aren't you?
No. I'm coming towards you. It's an Empire army. We march into battle, Chris.
Oh, that's
We're
not
not
right.
a bunch
That's,
of frothing lunatics here that just go screaming headlong into battle.
that is a casual stroll.
That is a march. A disciplined march.
Now these guys did their scout move, shot did nothing. These guys shot in 2 ranks because they're on a hill, and we thought, well, rather than try and force them into a single line, we'll just roll with that, even though it makes no sense when you're shooting from the reverse incline of a hill. And they actually managed to collect one of the cold ones. So that's that. We will check in. Oh, and he tried to cast some magic. It wasn't really anything worth casting apart from putting a 5+ ward on the standard bearer. I don't entirely know why he did that, but anyway.
Hey, what do you mean?
Did you put a 5+ ward in your standard, or does that apply to the whole unit?
He meant his entire unit.
Oh, it's one of those nasty things. Alright, well, that does make a certain amount of sense. Alright, on that note, we'll go over to Dark Elves, turn 1. End of Dark Elves, turn 1. Now we'd marched these guys up at the double, past their leadership. We marched the... what are they called? Dark Riders at the double, had passed their leadership to do it, because they're right next to that thing, but they've gone and put themselves in an annoying place. Marched the dragon at full clip up here next to this thing. No idea if it'll be there next turn, but it's a very annoying place to be. Now I did want to charge this guy, because I could just see him around the edge of the forest, but I couldn't actually see the facing which I would have to charge being the front facing. So we decided that was not a valid charge. On the plus side, both of his characters are behind a woods but not in a woods, and they can't see anything to charge, that means. Right, now I moved these guys back a little bit just in case I failed to kill the organ gun. Shot the crossbow at the greatswords, rolled up a storm, and then Andrew rolled up a storm and saves, so that sort of negated itself. I think I killed 1. Then we shot all of this lot at the organ gun, and I'm a silly sausage because I meant to do it as multiple shot and I forgot and fired him as single big shots instead and managed to miss with 2 out of 3. Though the one that did hit bumped a wound off, so I sort of got the minimum out of all of that. I want to move my mage up into this unit here. So not an awe-inspiring turn, truth be told. It was a bit shit. But then again, Andrew rolled a 1 to win with his cannon last turn, so I can't complain. On that note, we'll check in at the end of Empire turn 2. End of turn 2 Empire, and it's a good game because Andrew's getting frustrated and wondering what the fuck to do.
Thank you very much. That's just charming, Chris.
Well, normally Andrew knows exactly what he's doing and tends to win, so if he's going, oh bloody hell, what am I going to do about this shit, then that means that there's a running chance. On the other hand, this fucking thing came barreling forward. It managed to wound itself once, but it's got, what, another 9 wounds? Toughness.
Pretty sure it's 10.
Insane either way. These guys came moving around here just to make themselves annoying. That blasted the last Dark Rider after the engineer took a shot at them as well. Less fortunately, these guys took out one of my cold ones, and then the crossbow took out one as well.
And the plucky little halflings.
Little bastards, look at them. Look at them there, all smug eating their chicken.
Yeah, they're just going to piss off home now.
That's right, and then somebody cast a magic spell to make these guys move at an insane rate of knots forward. Which I can't say I was entirely happy about. That leaves us with a number of rather unfortunate situations. Yeah, so we're both enveloping each other in one way or another. On that note, I don't have a lot more to add. I think there was a point where Andrew regretted having moved his mage up because it makes his spear move slower, and at the same time the mage didn't get close enough to cast his magic missile. So there's some food for thought. But otherwise, I think we better get into Dark Elf turn 2. And of Dark Elf turn 2. And what an amazing cacophony of whiffs. We'll start with the most embarrassing one. This guy and his mate charged into these guys, lost one on the way in, then rolled absolute dog shit in the fight, and turned around and ran. This unit, it deserves to be executed if anyone actually survives. They've just been doing absolute gut. I paid for the extra armor, and they've been dropping like flies regardless. So this guy did a single move instead of a charge, and I dropped a template on these guys that should have polished off about 6. Notwithstanding the ward save, so probably 4. I think I got 1.
2?
2? No, one of them was from before, I think.
Was it?
I think so.
Oh.
It's terrible.
Oh.
Maybe it was 2, I can't think of what I got him with before. Still shit. Let's see. We fired 2 bolt throwers at the big boy, and we actually got him with 1, and it bumped off 3 wounds. I'd actually fired at the little guy with the other bolt thrower, and that just didn't do anything. Then we got 1 out of 3 spells off because Andrew's mage is just within dispel range and is rolling up a storm. The one we did get, though, blasted a few guys off of this unit with a magic missile. We then shot at these guys with a whole bunch of other guys. And killed enough to make him do a test, but not enough to really swing it. I really needed to get a template into the general vicinity. And then we did our charge into this thing, and the chariots both made it, but the fucking witch elves didn't. They rolled crap, so they just trundled along very slowly behind, leaving their asses hanging in the breeze for 2 fucking monsters. So I have to say, very little has actually worked this turn. It's been pretty embarrassing. On that note, we'll go into turn 3 for the Empire and see if Andrew can do as badly as I did. Alright, end of turn 3 for the Empire, and might I say, it's still going a bit shit. On the plus side, they shot at this guy and he somehow survived after getting all of his friends killed and running away.
We ran out of the armor-piercing arrows, that's what happened.
Excuses. This bloke fired at the dragon and dumped a few wounds on it, but I made some saves. Took 1 wound. Still rolled up a storm. It's still 22 fucking shots that thing got. Every goddamn game, never a misfire. Then he rolled some magic up, and of course, while he's stopping all of mine, I'm not stopping any of his, so he just decided to fly these guys right up here. This fella charged into this slot, challenged him out with the champion, so he lost, but then he rolled okay for morale. He had leadership 10, he was never going to be very bad, so he just fell back 2 inches. Over here, I couldn't roll a dice to save my fucking life. 2 turns running, fistfuls of dice going everywhere, I can't get a 6. It's absolutely embarrassing. Then over here, we lost by a bit and we got pushed back a little bit. Could have been worse, could have been better. On that note, well, of course, next turn they're going to have all their attacks, so that's a bit of a problem. Over here in this shit show, these guys charged into the flank of the chariot, killed it. Then I completely failed to do anything with the steam tank. And look, my odds were not great to begin with, but it'd be nice to roll something at some point in this game. I think I'm basically boned at this stage. My cunning strategy kind of relied on a couple of things working, and they didn't.
Can I just say that conveyance spell is like an absolute game changer?
Look, it is if you can get it off. We both got level 3 mages, so statistically you probably shouldn't be getting it off.
Look, that gives him +1 to cast all demonology spells, so I'm adding 3 to every single dice roll that I'm making.
Well, that doesn't help.
So that's 2 units now. I've moved to like 24 inches, and that's just completely changed the game.
Yeah, it's
because otherwise they would have to march up in, under fire from bolt throwers and repeat handguns, or repeat bolt throwers.
True, and the plan was to spend a lot of time doing that and then to counter-charge. But that, to be honest with you, I don't mind that so much. It's the fucking tank that's ruined my day once again.
Oh, you do have dragon there, so...
Yeah, the dragon can't kill the tank.
Yeah, but you can hold it up and stop it wrecking your army.
Well, actually, earlier you told me that thing was toughness 10, so I didn't waste my time with it. What I should have done was charge it. I could have killed the thing in a couple of turns. Anyway, as it is, excuses aside, going into turn 3 for the Dark Elves, let's see if I can recover any sense of dignity out of what is essentially a clusterfuck. End of Dark Elves turn 3 of all things. Mostly it's gone shit with one exception. Over here we polished off the volley gun. That guy's actually still in combat with the engineer because I overran into the engineer. But we took him off because I forgot where we're up to in the game. He needed Snake Eyes to rally, so didn't. So naturally he rolled only 3 inches, which leaves him in close range to get shot next turn. Over here, whiffed all over the place, then failed a basic leadership test on 8, fucked off the table. Here, couldn't roll a dice to save my life. Took 4 wounds, could have been worse actually. I do have 4+ armor and a ward, but again I was rolling dog shit all over the place, so I did nothing back. And then when I fell back exactly 3 inches, so they can move up and do their impact hits all over again. Over here, I actually managed to beat that thing, and the general fled, which was hilarious. But then, of course, he rolled high and I rolled really low. I can't catch a fucking break this game. It's really remarkable, just the combination of things that are going exactly the way that Andrew needs them in order to work out really effective. And I can't get a trick to work.
I was pretty unlucky to roll like double 5s through the break test.
Well, yeah, but it can happen, and he's isolated, and he's nowhere near anything else. And he did take on an entire fucking unit of frothing psychopaths.
He's a very brave man, this one. He's very brave.
Yeah.
Not so brave at the moment, but this is a temporary
with the new infantry rules, it's actually really dangerous for a monster to take on a block of infantry unsupported.
But
yeah, and of course, if you
those witch elves out of the fight with the steam tank, the war wagon, the Pegasus guy.
Well, that's right.
Which has enabled me to take out a heavy chariot.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is,
I'm about to take that thing out.
Because fleeing's actually the most likely response, even though you rolled badly. You could have rolled a lot better and still have been scarpering. Yeah, it's just the change in the dynamics of the game since that fact came out. But yeah, there's a lot of things where, I mean, I don't think I've played a particularly brilliant game, but I've sort of had every combination of wacky luck go in exactly the wrong combo. And I'm noticing a lot that when I win, I've had good luck, and when I lose, I've had shit luck. I think there's a sign that we've got a lot of people who are playing at a very similar level. Anyway, on that note, we'll now go into Empire turn 4, and we'll see if I have any army left after that. End of turn 4 Empire, and it's been a turn in 2 halves. These guys charged the Scourge Runner Chariot, but I fled, so they didn't catch anything. They might get to the Bolt Thrower next turn, we'll see. These guys turned around in order to face the dragon, so if a dragon charged them in the back, that would actually be extremely bad for them. It might be enough to top them off. Even though it's a long charge, you wouldn't want to risk the entire goddamn spear line on it. These two, perhaps unsurprisingly, having got the charge in, again, bumped off the altar, whiffing bad dice till the very end. They shot the remaining Cold One Rider over here. And then this fellow continued Andrew's streak of rolling 6s all over the place and boxcard his way.
Double 6s for his break test.
Yes, but then he rolled 3, which means he's just within charge range for these guys. And they'll force him to flee.
No, yeah.
It's an eligible charge, which I shall make. So it's still really quite bad for the Dark Elf army. That guy's almost certainly going to rally. I can't see him making it off the table this turn. Even with Swiss Stride, which he has.
Do you have to use it?
I think it's optional, unfortunately. Yes.
I was curious about that.
Yes, and then this prick turned up here, so we'll think about what to do about him.
Shoot him a bolt thrower. You got 2 of them.
That's the plan. Alright, well, on that note, this is a staggeringly fucking wretched game today, and we will go through turn 4 of the Dark Elves. End of turn 4 for the Dark Elves. You know you're going well when it's a fast turn, because you don't have that many units. Let's see. So these guys did their compulsory charge against this guy. He fucked off, 12 inches. And these guys rolled a grand total of 3 inches for their charge.
How far did he go? I think he went like 6 inches or something. It wasn't very far.
No, it was only 6 inches. That's right. It was 2 threes. This fella failed to rally, so I couldn't shoot with him. That was annoying. So this thing shot with multiple shots and rolled a complete clusterfuck of bad dice. Still managed to take 1 wound off. The only good news is this fella decided to charge the ward wagon, which is a slightly tougher charge than going for the tank. But I worked out that if the war wagon fled too far, it would go over the top of all of these and off the table. So Andrew decided he would flee from the dragon, then rolled snake eyes.
Yeah, that's shockingly bad.
So I caught the fucker as dead. So I rallied in place. Which I suppose is not entirely unlike what would have happened if I caught it. Yeah.
If he just rolled 1 more, he not only would have gotten away, he would have missed the Witch Elves too.
Well, that's true, but he did need to roll between 3 and 4 inches on 2 dice. On 2d6.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure he would have clipped that. We would have rolled for that.
Well, I had an opinion about it anyway.
I'm sure you. I'm sure you.
No, I worked it out. I worked it out millimeter perfect, and you refused to come around to have a closer look. I noticed.
I'm waiting for the laser pointer that you said you were going to bring.
I'm going to have to get one to play against you.
Get 2 of them, mate. Why beat hand?
Yeah, so I got a sneaky suspicion that this bolt thrower was fucked. Fortunately, so was the war wagon. On that note, we better go into turn 5 for the Empire. I'll see if I can, pull some dignity out of what is essentially a rollicking clusterfuck at this stage.
Pretty much have to wipe me out at this stage.
End of Empire turn 5. These guys unsurprisingly smashed into the bolt thrower and killed it. This guy decided to run all the way over here so that the dragon can't get him. And the boss unfortunately rallied. He fucked off around there to hide as far as he possibly can from the rest of my army, which I find vaguely satisfying purely on a moral sense. The tank moved up, blasted away at the Witch Elves, blew away a rank, but they're the ones that haven't lost any combats and are still frenzied and don't give a shit. On that note, we will go into... what the fuck are we into? Turn 5 for the Dark Elves. Alright, we worked out the turn 5 for the Dark Elves and then turn 6, which really just involved the remainder of the fight of the dragon against the Great Swords. And basically, we got these out of the way. This guy failed to rally repeatedly, and we guess we'll work out whether he's actually still on the table. In fact, turn 6. It would have been, but we'll probably count that as destroyed just for the sake of argument.
Should have been off the table.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've had things fleeing in the wrong fucking direction, including that guy, which is hilarious. Trying to work out, backtrack what we did wrong. These guys, we fought out the combats and then realised we forgot to do the terror test. And they were in a point of falling back in good order while being chased by a dragon. And then we thought, hang on, terror test. They managed to fail that twice in a row. And just disappeared off the table. So we're counting the Great Swords as destroyed. All that's left on the table at this point is a pissed off dragon rider who doesn't feel he's killed enough. Some Witch Elves. That guy who's so bashed up he's run and hid.
Your dragon is the only one in your entire army to score any victory points.
Well, the Witch Elves chased that guy off.
You don't get any victory points for him.
Yeah, I do. He's wounded. He's below half. 25%. I don't know. So maybe I'll work it out.
Yeah,
who gives a shit? We're going to work out some points, and then
has done all the damage.
Well, blame that on the dice, goddammit, because everything else had plenty of fucking goes. Anyway, we'll check in just a moment. So we've gone and worked out the points, and it's a roughly 2-to-1 difference. I did kill a chunk of stuff in the end, but too little, too late, truth be told. Man, what a comedy of errors. So many things went spectacularly in the wrong direction. Of all the different ways they could go, they went in the way which is going to make it the worst possible outcome. So it wasn't even just the dice; it was just the combination of variables. So that was a pretty wild and wacky game, I have to say.
It was looking very strange from turn 2. Like, it looked very strange.
Yeah,
It wasn't like
I mean,
our normal games. It felt like very strange. There were units going fucking everywhere.
yeah, I mean, your tank was damaging itself in its rush to charge forward and get in my way.
Yeah, actually.
Repeatedly, like it did maximum steam points twice in a row, and that actually fucked up the entirety of my right flank. The plan was to bash into that with something, keep it busy,
and then a dragon. You've got a dragon.
You know what? I thought it was tougher than it is. If I'd realised it was only tough to 7, I would have had a crack.
Still would have was 10.
No, would have 10 wounds. I would have been there all day, but I would have killed it. But yeah, look, the general idea was to distract it with probably the cold one chariot and then move around and keep going. But no, that didn't fucking work. And then you were magicking massive movement out of your ass.
I love that. What is it?
It's the conveyance spell.
Conveyance spell.
And because you've got the +1 to cast, it's very hard to stop. And it gives you fly of what, 12?
Fly 12.
And that's...
So we're doing that right, isn't it? You can march.
Well, I believe so. It doesn't say you can't. And normal, like the dragon here, for example, has fly 10 and it can march at 20.
Just seems really powerful, though.
It is incredibly powerful, but it's meant to be hard to cast. But you've got a +1, and I don't have a +1 to dispel.
Well, it's a 30-point item, so... Right, no, I suppose that's kind of...
Yeah.
30 points.
I suppose in the original invention of the game it was pointed about right, but these +1 and -1 things to magic have become more exaggerated since they changed the clout of a mage.
Yeah, but it gives him that +1, it gives him the edge. Oh, plus it gives him another spell.
Oh yeah?
You get 4 spells instead of 3. So you can only cast 3.
Oh, okay. Does it make you a higher level mage?
No. No, you're still level 3. But you get to choose from 4 spells, but you can still only cast 3. And for most of the game, like he could only cast 1 because all of his other spells were just out of range or fucking something stupid was happening or...
Yeah.
I don't know, it was a very strange game.
It was a fucking weird game, and having your greatswords come barreling down here was frustrating on that flank.
Well, I thought they were going to be a disaster, but it actually turned out alright.
Oh, well, that's largely because I couldn't roll anything higher than a 1 the vast majority of the time I hopped a dice.
And yeah, they did beat the snot out of those crossbowmen, which was kind of useful. And
Yeah.
got rid of your mage, like, at the same point.
Yes, well, the mage was supposed to be in there as a bunker so she couldn't get blasted by your magic missiles.
But you could have moved her out in your turn.
Thought about it, but I underestimated just how bad that fight was going to be.
I know, great sword.
The greatswords are pretty gnarly. I had thought with initiative and a lot of attacks that I could knock a few of them off, reduce the number of attacks coming in.
4 up save for great swords.
Yeah. I mean, look, I probably should have got her out of there.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, what have we learned?
You're very unlucky with Dark Elves because I watched your other battle report with Dark Elves.
That
was equally unlucky, I think.
Yeah, I had a game recently against Doug, and the dice went horribly wrong for him, and they went well for me.
Oh, okay. Maybe this is just a balancing thing.
Well, I don't know. I'm finding that we tend to all be playing against people who are pretty good at what they're doing with the game, and it's very rare that somebody just totally aces the other guy purely on tactics. With a less experienced player, we could, but it tends to come down to key things working or not working. And...
Oh no, I find that conveyance spell just completely transforms this army. From a
Yeah.
slowly moving infantry army into a airborne assault company
Well,
with tank
yes.
support and air support.
Yeah, the tank support's a bit of a worry, actually. I mean, you look, as usual, you've got a no-fat, really refined army. You always do. I'm building the least...
I'm thinking about dropping the crossbow.
Those crossbowmen wiped out a unit of fucking darker...
Yeah, but in 4 games, that's all they've done.
Yeah, that's true.
They really haven't killed anything in 4 games.
Yeah, but you know what? If you don't have reach, then you give away the initiative.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, and it does give the enemy something else to go after. And they're cheap, they're like 90-odd points.
Yeah, I mean, you can't quite ignore them, because over the course of 6 turns, they'll do enough damage to be a problem you've got to deal with.
Yeah, and they're still a ranked up unit with a full command, so they're not a pushover.
Yeah, that's true, as we found out.
Yeah, they're still 12
Yes.
attacks back.
If you kill 80% of the enemy on the way in, you have enough guys in your crossbow unit to finish off the last guy.
That's how it works. The enemy just has to roll enough ones. That's the key tactic there, I think.
My God, I was rolling ones like you wouldn't fucking believe today. I rolled so many dice in the fight with the chariots. Just staggering amounts of dice.
But was that the defining combat of the game, though? I mean, even if you did kill it, like, what really would you have gained?
The objective wasn't to kill the tank, to be honest. The objective.
10 wounds, I mean.
The objective was to stick around.
Well, you did expose the flank of your heavy chariot to the wagon and to the Pegasus rider by doing that. And then they came charging in, and that
they would
just all over.
They would have come charging into the front anyway.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, maybe keep that chariot back to counterpunch. But
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I think the Pegasus would have gone in and sorted him out because he's got fly.
Yeah, the combination of my two characters that fly is very dangerous.
Absolutely, you've got a super refined army. I mean, you're complaining about a dragon. You got 2 killer motherfuckers who fly.
Yeah, no, but you can't kill the fucking dragon.
Well,
you can't kill it.
Your guy's hard to kill too. I mean,
you got him down to 3 wounds.
Yeah, it took a bit of work to do it.
Bit of luck, you would have finished him off, I reckon.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, bit of luck describes the whole fucking game, frankly.
But I mean, that thing's 9 wounds, 4 plus ward, 3 plus armor. I mean, I just can't kill it.
Well, yes, and it's 20...
It just deletes units. It's so powerful.
Yeah, they are. I mean, 2 people take more than 1 are pretty rude. We were saying earlier, actually, that 1 dragon in a 2,500 point army is not a bad thing. A dragon in a 2,000,
it's pretty rough.
And you know what? You could take this prick in a 1,000 point game if you want to lose enough friends.
No one would take that.
I'm sure there are some people who do it.
Maybe they bring their own dragon and just have a game of dragons.
Well, I think that's called Age of Sigmar.
Yes.
But yeah, look, with this Dark Elf army, it is so expensive points-wise, and it is so fucking soft.
Yeah, I'm finding that with the High Elves, trying to come up with lists without a dragon, it just doesn't... I don't know, it's very hard.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm not sure how to do it without a dragon, but then I don't want to take a dragon because I don't want to be that...
Don't want to be that guy?
I bring the dragon like every single game just to make the army work, if you know what I mean.
True. I mean, look, I actually really like the dragon mages. I like this thing.
I just don't want to use one every single game.
I'm of the same view. Whenever I don't take the dragon, I just get massively outmaneuvered.
Yeah.
Because the Hydras are dead slow and blocks of infantry are slow. The only thing I've got that's quick is the cavalry.
Yeah, you got good cavalry.
And there's not enough of them to do the fucking job.
They're too expensive, and they're very... Yeah, they just disappear.
Well, they do if you roll enough ones. Well, and you were rolling a lot of 6s to get that armor bane.
Again, even if you did take out the crossbowmen and took out the hunter, it's like...
Yeah, that would have been the trade-off for the game, frankly.
No, that's only like 150 points right there, so...
Well, if they'd survived, though, then I wouldn't have lost those points. I would have swapped 150 for...
Yeah.
But as it is, that was...
It wasn't the defining thing.
No, that wasn't defining. It was just embarrassing, frankly. It was a humiliation for the Cold One Riders. Yeah, what can I say? It was a fucking ridiculous game.
I haven't fought the Dark Elves a lot in the old world, but they feel very squishy.
Oh, they're pathetic in the old world, I have to say.
Very, very squishy. So when I saw you take a dragon, it's like, you know what, that's fair enough.
Yeah, look...
I'd probably do the same if I was in your position, but then the game just kind of revolves around, what's a dragon going to do?
The challenge I got with the Dark Elves in this edition is that the army I put together worked okay in 8th edition for a themed army.
Yeah.
But that theme does not work in this game anymore.
Yeah, we need to restructure Elves, I think. I'm holding off on doing Elves until Games Workshop does something useful with them. I think they need something.
With the Wood Elves, they actually reduced the cost of a Glade Guard.
I saw that they're at least doing something with the Wood Elves, which is great. But I think Dark Elves and High Elves still need something.
So I would agree. I mean, Dark Elves are a legacy army, so they haven't had the love.
Yeah.
They're not complete crap, but the stuff you need to be efficient, I don't have.
Yeah, you really notice the difference between like an Empire army, which is fully backed, it's got great rules, it's got great support, and then you go up against an army that doesn't have that, and it's...
Yeah, the thing is, I don't have any of the elite infantry, like the halberdier guys or the greatsword guys.
Yeah.
I don't even have basic spear infantry, which are, overpriced, but at least they got armour and spears.
Yeah.
I've just got Corsairs that fall apart when you blink at them.
Yeah.
They don't even have close order. So they're just... My old strategy of throwing 2 blocks of 24 Corsairs or something just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Which is why I take the Witch Elves, which are hilarious, and they look pretty doing usually not very much.
I know they fought off an Empire General on a big Griffin today, so yeah, good on them.
Bunch of halflings could have done that with the statistics.
Yeah, it didn't help that I failed all my break tests and then failed my rally tests. And
Yeah, actually, it's worth noting a unit of goblins could have done the same job.
yeah, that's a bit embarrassing for my general. Didn't really do great for himself today, but he kept them busy. Hey,
Well, that's true. What I find is you've got a really refined army, and that tank is basically the equivalent of a dragon for me. Your character is dangerous, but I don't worry about him too much.
no, he does die. Yeah, I've lost him a couple of times now, haven't I?
Yep. Whereas the tank
No.
completely unhinges the entire fucking game.
Well, it's a roadblock. That's essentially what a steam tank is. You just put it somewhere where you just don't want to fight that bit of that overfield.
Yep.
That's where you send it.
It's basically an auto disrupt to what the other guy's trying to do. And look,
Yeah.
if you've got a horde army, okay, you send a pack of 30 goblins up against it,
Yeah.
and you sit there
And
losing
so
wounds all day.
power level, it goes through the floor, doesn't it? Yeah.
But when all you got is elves,
A highly elite army.
yeah, it's just fucking absurd.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah.
So yeah, I did have hopes that this army of mine could be effective, and it could have been.
It looked very lethal. It looked very, very lethal. Double bolt throwers, a couple of chariots,
Yeah.
dragon.
Sometimes you have ridiculous games. Sometimes it's. We had a game of Black. Were you there for a game of Black Powder where we had a comedy of errors?
No.
So basically, in that game, not to make a long story out of it, they had some failure of command. They botched a command.
Yeah.
But the botched command meant they charged in the direction that he really would have liked to have if only it was feasible to do so.
Oh.
So they actually ended up charging off way faster and further than they should have. Crashed into a unit that then proceeded to get destroyed by this unhinged charge.
Yeah.
And then the unit that had done the unhinged charge then fell back to a position of safety so that it wasn't subject to a counterattack in the following turn.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, it's like you couldn't have done that if you'd followed the fucking rules.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But you have enough random shit happen, and that pretty much unhinged the game.
Yeah.
So that's the fun of playing a game of toy soldiers instead of chess. There's dice involved.
So what's our next game, Chris?
See, I was hoping to win this one so that the ratio wouldn't get totally thrown out of whack by the next one.
We don't know what's going to happen.
No, we don't, and I'm going to be a prick. You're taking on Tzeentch next.
Tzeentch, 2,100 points. All right.
2,100 points of the Tzeentch, which very rarely works.
Okay, so magic heavy, lots of shooting.
Pretty
Good
much.
maneuverability, I'm assuming.
Well, some of it can't maneuver very well at all.
Okay.
There is a required core which is absolutely piss weak.
Oh, the pink horrors, they're no good.
Pink and blue horrors, yeah, they're pretty useless.
But then you got a greater demon, and he's pretty useful.
Yeah, not really. He's only got 4 attacks. He's a bit shit.
He's not a fighter, is he? No.
Not a very good one, no.
He still gets stomp attacks, though, doesn't he?
A few, I think D3.
Oh, that's not great.
No, he's not there to be in a fight.
Okay. Well, I'm relieved there's not going to be a frickin' dragon. Not that I blame you for taking it, it's just, God, I hate fighting dragons.
Yeah, I don't blame you. They're hard work.
They're very hard. Well, you got to think in a whole different dimension, if you know what I mean.
Look, I'm building armies at the moment, which essentially I've got 2 Empire armies I'm building, and I'm not using a tank, and I'm not using any flying monsters in either. Because I want to see how the poor bloody infantry work in this game.
Well, you'll have a lot more stuff. Steam tanks are expensive, flying characters, they're expensive. So you'll have a lot more stuff.
Yes, there is a lot of stuff, and I'm having to think about what sort of strategy and tactics can you use with bog standard infantry to deal with this or its Empire equivalents for that matter, because he's a bastard as well.
Big units. That's all I can say. Take big units.
Mm.
Not
Well.
25, I'd take 40, 50.
Oh god. Well, I've just bought a bunch of movement trays, so we'll see. But in fact, there'll be a video that's come up ahead of this one, which that's the one which shows what the army looks like laid out on the table.
Yeah, no, I watched that.
And it's fucking insane. I've got no idea how much you're going to win a game with it, but screw it, I'll give it a go. Anyway, on that note, if you've gotten this far, feel free to hit like, subscribe, comment. Let us know if we're doing the fucking fly thing wrong for the magic.
Please
Is it only meant to be 12 inches?
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, let us know if we got that horribly wrong. There'll be a thing popping up about now directing you to another video. Click on that, have a look. If you like this dumb fuckery, enjoy some more of it. Helps the algorithm, helps the YouTube encourage people to watch stuff like this instead of some AI slop clickbait. But for now, fuck me, it's time to call it a night.